Welcome to Home Biz Tax Talk. My name is Lysandra Everett. I am the Home Biz Tax Lady, where I help home business owners win the tax game. Home Biz Tax Talk airs Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock-ish. And when you tune into my show, you're going to hear about topics that are important to the home business community. And today we are going to be focusing on the 2020 tax filing. Oh my gosh, right? We honestly, at this point, here it is, nearing the end of August. Woo! So, I put these videos up on YouTube. So at the time of this recording, it is near the end of August of 2019. So I really want to focus on starting to gear up for the tax filing for 2020, because even though it is August, it really is right around the corner. We are about to start Q4, and that is the Super Bowl for everybody. Retail businesses are about to be off the chain. That is the money spendingest time of the year in the United States. But also, there's the stuff going on. We got back to school, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, the New Year. And before you know it, 2020 is going to be here, and holy cow, then here we go. So I want to, talk right now on 5 things that business owners really need to be doing to be prepared for 2020. Okay. So number 1 is to not mix business expenses. And here's what I mean. In this era of you got to have 45 streams of income, right? Some people take that to mean that you got to have all of these businesses. So if you are a person that has more than one business that's unrelated, we have people that are branching into lots of different industries. We have people who have traditional network marketing businesses. They may be truck drivers or, may be stylists, but also may be into Forex or cryptocurrency or, just different types of things. So when you have multiple businesses, you don't get to just mush all of that stuff together. There is a difference if you have related expenses, meaning, for example, if you are a stylist and you sell, retail products, that's within the same business. But if you're a stylist and you have a tax business, those are 2 separate things. So you don't mix those expenses. You really need to separate those expenses out, because in the event that you do get audited, it's going to present a question. So you definitely want to keep those separate. Also, even when you look at the liability of things, if you're mixing business expenses together, in the event somebody sues you on one, you give them access to the other. Okay. So you want to definitely separate those out. I'm seeing a lot of people that I've been in consultation with over the last few weeks that have multiple businesses, but they're mixing all of those expenses together. If that's you, take the time now to separate those out. Separate your income, separate your expenses for those particular businesses. Okay. And so, yes, that may mean that you have more than one Schedule C, or depending on what your structure is, whatever, you may have more than one tax form to fill out. It is what it is. Okay. Will that increase your tax preparation expenses? Probably, but you still need to separate those things out, because that's the right thing to do. Okay. Number 2. If you are working full-time on a job or part-time on a job and working in a business, you need to do a W-4 checkup. Okay, you need to go and review what your federal taxes, what federal and state taxes have been withheld. You need to grab your 2018 tax return to see what your tax liability was, and are you on track? Okay, go to your total tax due for 2018. If you're looking at the numbers and they're kind of staying the same, then you know what your tax bill is going to look like. Do you have enough in withholdings? Have you set aside that money from your business to pay taxes on the profit? Now is the time to look and see what you got going on. So if not, you still got a little bit of time to make some adjustments so that you're not dealing with underpayment penalties come tax time. Okay. And you got to fix that by December 31st. Okay. So review your W-4, review your withholdings on your paycheck, and compare that to your 2018 taxes just to see where you are at this point in the year. Number 3, get that bookkeeping together. I don't know how many times I can really beat the dead horse of bookkeeping. So here's what happens when you don't have your bookkeeping together. If you're just, money is just coming in and money is just going out, whether you're paying yourself or paying bills or whatever, you really have no idea how much money you're making and how much money you're spending. So if you have no idea how much money you're making, how much money you've profited, then you have no idea what your tax bill is going to be. And that's what causes problems at tax time. So go back. If you haven't done bookkeeping the whole year, do not do the home business owner or small business owner stroke out come January or February trying to, do all of this stuff at the last minute. Take the time now to get your bookkeeping together. Go back and gather all of your receipts, your expenses, and all of that, and get your income and get your stuff together. Because if you do this now, then come the end of the year, you'll only have the last few months to deal with, and then you'll be prepared to file your taxes and not be worried about, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this, right? And by doing that, where you are financially. You'll have a good financial snapshot of your business to see what you have done financially. All right, please get your bookkeeping together. All right. Number 4. For my business owner, be prepared to file your taxes early. So here is the deal. What happens is, I knew it was going to happen. Ha! Okay, so what happens is that business owners will wait to the last minute to file. But what happens is then you get this surprise tax bill and you have no money to pay it. If you have caught up with your bookkeeping, then there is absolutely no reason why a business owner should not be ready to file in February. Now, if you figure out in February that you have a tax bill that you might not have money for, the money is still not due until April. You got a little bit of time to hustle up some cash, okay? But when you wait until April to file, then you really put yourself behind the 8 ball. So be prepared to file your taxes early so that you know the position you're in, and then you can make a plan in order to, to pay whatever tax bill. If you wind up that, hey, you don't owe anything, then hey, you're done. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with filing early and not owing anything. That's just awesome. But if you do this early and you prepare early, then you have time. If you have not saved up money or whatever, then you've got a little bit of time to hustle up some cash and work on that tax bill. Okay. So don't wait until the last minute to file. Yes. And you know what? And also, if you have to file an extension, there's nothing wrong with filing the extension. But you also need to know that your extension is for filing paperwork. It is not for paying your taxes. So then, when you wait, and then you wait until October. Listen, there's a whole bunch of months in between April and October. Pick one of those. That's all I'm saying. Because everybody is then waiting until October to file for their extensions. And you just got penalties and interest that are racking up over those months. So again, if you're prepared to file early, you know what you're dealing with. Even if you can't pay the entire tax liability in the event that you owe, you can pay something and reduce the amount of penalties and interest that accrue. Okay? And then number 5 is to be prepared for an audit. So when you go to file your taxes, you need to know your tax history. You need to review your last couple years. If you have been operating at a loss, then you need to be prepared for an audit. As a matter of fact, I have a client. When I filed this client's taxes, one of the things I said to my client, I said, you need to get ready to, be prepared for an audit. You need to get all of your documentation together. You need to get all of this stuff together and just have it in an envelope. So in the event that you do get a letter or something from the IRS, then you already have this prepared and you're not scrambling. And no more than a week after that, my client got a letter from the state. So I'm telling you, you need to be prepared for an audit. And I want to share with you something that just happened in this tax case that was recently decided. Because, when we talk about, being prepared for audits, it's not just, having all of the proper documentation. It's a big picture thing that the IRS looks at. Not only are they looking at, did you make a profit, the last, 3 out of 5 years, or did you have a loss? What that looks like. They also look at the type of documentation. They're looking at, did you run your business like a business? Did you consult with other professionals? Did you, how much time were you putting into this? It's operating at a loss that rings the bell. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the IRS is going to automatically determine, hey, because you are operating at a loss, that you're a hobby. But they're going to be wanting to ask some questions about what's going on. And then you have to substantiate that, yes, even though I'm losing money, I'm still doing all the right things. But I wanted to share with you this this tax case that was just decided, where the judge said petitioners did not have a formal business plan. Remember, we talked about business plans where you go through and you think about how you're going to make the money and the plan to do that. They did not have a formal business plan. There's no evidence that the petitioners consulted with industry experts about the profit potential or other companies that would, that are making money. So they look at, did you hire a coach? Did you consult with other professionals that have no financial interest in what you're doing? This is really key for my network marketing squad. Your sponsor is not an industry expert. I don't care who it is, because at the end of the day, I don't care how far up the line you go, that person has a financial interest in whether or not you stay with the company. So you need to talk to someone outside of your particular company that's got nothing to do with whether or not you make money or whether or not you stay with the company. That's important. So because of that, these people, the judge ruled that, okay, yeah, you had documentation and all, but you didn't do these other things. So yeah, you just had an expensive hobby. And they disallowed a lot of those expenses. So so this is what I'm talking about, and really being prepared. If you knew the IRS was going to show up at your door tomorrow, how would you do things? You would have this stuff. Get it together now. Don't wait. Because if you're continually losing money, it is not a question of if, but when. And so whenever that happens, which is usually 2 or 3 years down the road, you need to have this stuff together now. If you prepare now, right, then everything is fresh in your memory. You can make particular notes and such. And so in the event that does happen, you're like, here's what I got. Okay, so, it is important to know your tax history. It is important to review where you were over the past couple years, even if and I'll say this also about losing money in business. If your losses are decreasing over the years, then that is a lot better than just, than the losses getting greater, right? So if you lost $20,000, last year and you only lost $5,000 this year, okay, that's a $15,000 improvement, right? But still, you got to have this documentation in place. You got to have the plan. You got to be documenting your clients, your appointments, all of these things that show that you are indeed spending the time necessary to make this money. Period. Okay. So, so as we're getting ready to get to we're not done with the end of the year, but we're getting there. Start preparing now, so that you are not struggling come tax time to try to figure it all out. It's not a good time, because like I said, your mind is going to be so in the whole holiday, everybody is making money, right? That's, the retail industry, everybody's busy. That is when most Americans are spending money. So if you do this now, then you'll have time to be focused and, make whatever notes and do whatever you need to do to be prepared for tax season. And it's going to go a lot smoother for you, and you're not having the tax season stroke out. Okay. That's all I can say about that. So yeah, that's it, you guys. Start now preparing for next year's tax filing. The more that you do now, the easier it's going to be when it's time to file. Okay? So guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Home Biz Tax Talk. Again, we air Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock-ish, and you can come right here to get your questions answered about your home business taxes. All right? Have a great day, and I will see you all next time. Bye.